if I do die today, what will I regret not having done? And the one thing on that agenda was write this memoir. Because a writer really only has one gift, and that's the gift of his or her own life. Good, bad. I tell some of the painful parts, but I look back on it, and the very process of putting it together seemed therapeutic, seemed healthy, because it made a literary whole, I guess is W-H-O-L-E. It worked together. I could see how even the bad things were useful to me because they sent me on a search. If I didn't like something growing up, then I was free to explore it. How can I correct it? It's one thing to say, oh, the church is full of hypocrites, and the church I grew up in was full of hypocrites. It's another thing to say, well, then what should it have looked like? What should I look like? I think behind that was her lack of trust in God being able to take complaint and anger. I think a lot of people are afraid to express disappointment with God, anger at God. And they really shouldn't be. We shouldn't be, because there's a lot of that in the Bible. And God gives us the words to use, words of lament, words of complaint, the Psalms, Job, Jeremiah, Lamentations, lament. It's there. And I wish my mother had felt free to just have a wrestling match with God and say, I got an unfair draw in life. I was going to serve you. And then look at this. She was not ready for life on her own, raising two sons. She couldn't drive a car, had never written a check, and was living now in the South, even though she grew up in Philadelphia. So she had a lot to overcome. And she had to get that stress, that anger, that feeling of unfairness out somewhere. If you can't express it to God, what do? Well, she tended to take it out on her sons. So he finally got accepted at Wheaton, and then there came this hinge in his life that determined his future from then on, I suppose, where she put a curse on him. She said, if you go to this school, I will pray every day for the rest of your life that you'll be in a terrible accident and either die or, better yet, be paralyzed so that you have to lie there and look at the ceiling and realize what a terrible thing you've done, rebelling against God's will. Interestingly, he has a different memory of that scene. I talked about memory being unreliable. I'm quite sure that I remember it correctly. He remembers it differently. He remembers her saying, I will pray every day for the rest of your life that you'll lose your mind, because that's what happened. And I think he's kind of backfilled her prophecy. So I saw the choices he made. He broke that curse in a sense by saying, I'll do whatever I want. And he did whatever he wanted. But these were self-destructive choices. He should be on the concert stage playing the piano. Instead, he ended up tuning pianos, playing the same note, over and over and over. And that was a lesson to me. Don't go that route. Find another route. Find something that's a healthier way to grapple with some of the wounds of childhood.